intellectual capacity. Like, you feel inspired when you just are around the place, and it's like an artifact, and like it's along the lines of like the Big Apple. Like, you know what I mean? You travel and go on road trips. There's certain destinations and spots that, you know, like the giant. I don't even know too many, but it's that type of vibe where it's like the coin, a giant coin, or the loonie or the toonie or whatever that one is. And I'm pretty sure there's a Big Apple and like the big chair. There's a big chair. So it's like this type of vibe. So any campus, it's like, you know what I mean? I'm speaking out of like confidence in sales and marketing, but it's like you're lucky as a university institution to have one, if not multiple, artifacts of sorts. I'm not sure the name of it yet, but yeah, I'd love to take any suggestions or recommendations and ideas for the name of it. Help with the design and the build of it. Any ideas there? Thinking about the feel, thinking about exactly what it'll look like. Like, I want kind of like an indoor-outdoor space with cover. You know what I mean? Like, if it starts raining, it can be kind of that middle ground for you. If you need some shade, some space. Like, I'm not sure what the you know, it's like a gazebo. It's like a gazebo, pergola spot, but with like a treehouse, a library nook, jungle gym vibe. You know what I mean? Like, if I can get all three of those, for now, that's kind of the focus. Like, it's a hybrid effect of a study space, you know what I'm trying to say? It should be playful, like I'm trying to say. So you're working for half an hour, you need a break, you know what I mean? There's there's like a pull-up bar, there's like a dip bar. I'm just thinking now, how much do I want to incorporate like exercise options there? But it's like, yeah, it should be kind of built in simultaneously, you know what I'm trying to say? I'm not sure. Because the idea is rest, and it's study, and it's rest, study, play, inspiration. So like, do you want to have like, how much, like, so fuck, it's like 30% jungle gym. So what exactly out of the 30% of the jungle gym do we want to have on the university campus, right? Space for 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24-year-olds and beyond, right? A place of intellectual richness. So 30% of the jungle gym playground. We want to take 30% of a library nook. So a beautiful, historic, rustic, inspiring study space library nook. So the word I'm going to use, we want to incorporate with 30% of that into it, right? And we want to also include, right, like 30% of a treehouse style as well, and everything that means. So to me, that means exploration. That's what that means. When I think about the treehouse element, I think about exploration and imagination. Right? You're up there looking at maps, you're playing with microscopes. You know what I mean? That's the type of vibe I'm thinking in a treehouse. And so 30% of that, 30%. For now, that's kind of the idea I'm rolling off of. And yeah, I'm not sure what that other 10% should really be about. You know what I mean? So, like, capacity-wise, how much, you know what I mean, what the kind of capacity it should be able to hold. Like, I'm thinking in my head, the vision of it, and the entrances and the exits, and it almost is like, yeah, like literally, it's like, I don't know about anybody else or about you, but it's like, I'm just thinking also inspirationally at this moment in time. A McDonald's, around a McDonald's playground set, you know, at a certain age, it's like, you outgrow it, right? You outgrow it. It does not stop serving its purpose. You just outgrow it, and it's unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? Same with recess in a sense. You don't, like, you outgrow it, and we all outgrow recess at different times too. So we all have these preferences for the way we, and places we tend to spend our times, and you know, I'm just thinking, what if the Ronald McDonald's playground house, you know, was built not for the young kids, but then therefore the teenagers and the early 20-year-olds, what that will look like if we also incorporate like an indoor-outdoor library nook, everything that means, and thinking about kind of treehouse as well. So that's the main thing. So that's one of the ideas on this page that I'm going over. So what does that mean exactly? Breaking it down. It's like, you're gonna have to set up this as a business. I want this to be a business. You know what I'm trying to say? Just thinking as an example, if university campuses bought birdhouses and bird baths and bird feeders, company, they go to a company for that. You know what I mean? If that company were to supply to universities, or just, I'm not sure how their business exactly would work, but my business, the way I want it to work is, I mean, hey, shit, I'm not a landscape architect, but I can see myself becoming one, or like, you know what I mean, really working with landscape architects, but I want to kind of sort of really become one. The study of people and interactions with nature, and about the earth, and about tree life and plant health, and some insects and animals, and just ecosystems and landscapes. And it's like, literally, it's the architecture. It's an art form, is the way I feel about it. So it's natural, right? It's with the earth, and there's nothing better of being like on a nice summer night at a sports complex when there's games going on, and there's no better feeling. I'm just remembering the feeling. It's like, it's a great feeling. You know, it's a great feeling. So I have a lot of passion. It's kind of a hobby of mine for landscape architecture. A way of seeing the land and interacting with it. And I'm coming from like a fitness, you know what I mean, mental health, athletic background. And it's like just caring for these things and interacting with nature. It's like, we're working with the seasons here, bud. And it's like May, April-ish, definitely May, June, July, August, September, October. So it's like, you can push to 7 months out of the year where you'd be in business. And definitely at certain types of the year, you know what I mean, you're working clothing. It's like fashion as well. It's like you're gonna dress different and perform different and interact with life differently with different clothes at different points of the year. But the good thing is, those points of the year always come at the same times. So you can focus on deadlines and timelines and whatnot. So if I wanted to, expand that art business aspect of like fashion. So it's like you're gonna. Anyways, long story short, we're thinking about that as a business, and would love to do this campus-bound study sculpture. We're calling it for now, landscape artifact, at university campuses. You know what I'm saying? It's like this digital world we're living in. It's like you cannot forget that people need places to put their laptops and so that's like their library point of view. But it's like business-wise, yeah, it's gonna be like selling to campuses and working with campuses and maybe building some over the course of X number of years, seeing if people like it, seeing if people use it, and negotiating contracts in that sense, and following through on the builds, and just incorporating these creative hybrid ideas. And it's not meant to transform campus life, but it's, like I said, to enrich the campus life, garnering, attending to the intellectual compatibility of the campus itself and the purpose of the campus itself. So starting there, making that a business, working with, I'm not sure, I'm thinking like again with the materials and it's construction at this point, it's landscape architecture at this point, it's architecture at this point, it's, if we go electrical, it's a handful of things that I'm not sure about. You know what I mean? Ergonomics of seating and all of these things. So it's super interesting to me. These are all things I'm interested in. Love to bring this to a couple people on my mind at the moment right now. I'll say JT and I'll go TC. Couple people. Shout out to them. So, not even thinking about high schools, you know what I mean? Because at that age, it's like you're becoming an adult, so it's like, you know what I mean? The grade 12s having like a transition kind of for the grade 12s. Thinking about university campuses, and that's period. And thinking about Ontario, all these schools, thinking about all the provinces in Canada. It's an idea, you know what I'm saying, that again, it's business, and you talk to people, you sell, you market, you sell, you market, you negotiate the contracts, you enhance and enrich the campus life through play and, you know what I'm saying, just curated spaces. So I think it would fly. I think it would be fly. I think, education and school boards have budgets for this that would be attractive. And I'm not sure exactly the build, how much it would be to build and whatnot. But starting there, that's an idea for a business and a way I would like to spend my time. Going on to Orbital Bench Trailbound. Shit. It's another landscape artifact. I think these landscape architects consider these things prior to, obviously, putting in benches and whatnot. Yeah, it's kind of it's not a huge focus to me right now, but yeah, you can imagine what it is. It's a company called Sunseekers that I imagined, where the benches, you know what I mean, they always follow the sun, so you're not having to turn your head and have the sun hit your face. It's like you have like the bench faces the direction where the sun rises, so you always are catching the morning sun. Well, actually, we'll do it right now, and you always have the potential to catch the evening sun, so when it falls. So right now you can see that right there, it's the house. So the bench is able to literally just orbit and rotate, and the sun's path. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think you'd just have to be editing the benches somehow. You can like edit the build and incorporate the parts that would get used and would need to be used. You know what I'm saying? Rotator parts of sorts and whatnot. So just an interesting idea that I'm not sure if we can like make the benches nicer, more appealing, and this or that, but basically Sunseekers is the company I'm thinking about there, where it's like you know what I'm trying to say, just building beautiful, you know what I mean, sustainable, maybe reusable if possible, like materials, benches, and seating areas. Really just focusing on these seating areas, making those areas as attractive as possible. Like the nicest booths you've ever sat in a restaurant, kind of bringing that outside to nature as best as possible and making that a business. So working with cities, working with parks and trails and outdoor recreation divisions in cities, and you know what I mean, just beautiful idea that it's like that's an okay idea, but it's an important one, I think. Just leveling up outdoor areas, I think, are dope. Like in with the new benches, and out with the old ones. And it's like maybe doubling the amount of space for the same cost or half the cost if possible somehow. You know what I mean? And just getting a lot of them. There's a lot of trails. And you know what I mean? Just selecting and curating certain spaces, and it's like, how do you do that exactly? It's like maybe you build a platform where like connecting it with all trails. I'm just thinking now, right? I've never really thought this, I don't think. Well, connecting with all trails where people who use it are, you know, frequent and care about it, and just thinking about a feature that allows people to focus on seating and social gathering areas and outdoor sitting arrangements. Like, have I ever, question to the audience, have you ever been walking and have seen a sign stamped, posted into the ground that reads potential bench area? It's always funny to see those, potential bench area. It's like, how are you surveying that exactly? You know what I mean? It's interesting. Like, people who see that sign, are they just gonna, you know what I mean? Some consciously think about whether or not they'd like a bench there, and it's like I'm not sure how that works exactly, but it's always funny to see those signs posted in the ground. I've only seen a handful of them, but it's like, what if you could communicate and openly accept people and encourage people to actively take part in the, designing and selection of the areas that are potential bench areas, potentially social gathering spaces, seating and whatnot. And it's like focus and the highlight here would be like achieving double the space if possible for half the cost or the same cost, and enhancing the gathering space, you know what I mean? Like just futuristic, as calm as possible. You know what I'm saying? Taking the bench game up a level. You know what I'm saying? I think these are important things that we take for granted. It's like, oh, it's a fucking bench. It's like, that's a place people can have real, true conversations and connect and take their time and have their moments of peace and gather themselves and spend it with others, or really truly spend it with themselves and be in nature and interact with nature and observe and just kind of be humans and just be. So I give shit about benches and would love to achieve new benches.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Did you like our show?
Yeah, I really do.
The guy hasn't been on. How was work?
It's good.
Our women's rugby was.
Oh yeah, nice.
So now we do it.
That's exciting. Congrats. So I give a shit about benches. And I'm wondering if there's like a data webpage maybe, if possible. Again, working with like the cities and the Parks and Rec division, and if there's a database of all of these locations like on a map, these like pinpoint placements of where all these benches currently exist, and then you can go further on, you know what I mean, what is actually getting used and how people are actually using these spaces. And I think that's really interesting work, just enhancing the natural landscape within certain bounds, you know what I'm saying? So that's an idea. I think we're gonna stop there for today. We have two ideas here that are simultaneously that work together. That's grocery carriage, suburbia bound, carriage house, suburbia bound, and that is titled robotics AI. So those are robotic AI ideas. So yes, we're thinking about grocery carts and shopping malls and shopping centers and grocery stores. For sure. So that's for another day, but yeah, I'm thinking about a macro level. How do you like do this exactly? For the study sculptures, just going to campuses, talking to people, for sure. But there's an idea mainly I haven't put down where it's like building the outdoor workspaces, literally building outdoor classrooms, that can be used for, you know what I mean, and creating like that infrastructure of people who could actually use it, like booking, like a booking platform. There's like a sign on site that you can scan and read about the information, what it's about, you know. It's like it's like it's like a public disc golf course mentality where, you know what I mean, it serves its purpose. Just looking at it, you know what it's about. You know, you see the chains and the, what do you call it, the holes, disc golf hole, what do you call that, where you throw the frisbee in? I'm not too sure. The disc hole. You know what it's about. And basically I want to build a places multiple. Again, this is again the business idea, landscape architects, landscape artifacts, where it's like you build the outdoor landscapes, the outdoor playgrounds for classrooms. It's like giving the teachers, giving the students, giving the school boards, giving the learners, students, and teachers and leaders more of a ability to, you know, keep things fresh, where, you know, you can have 20, 30 people sitting outdoors in these alternative classrooms where you can book ahead of time and spontaneously if you like, but you let people know that you're going there. And you know, there's laws and policies and regulations in place to have people continue to use these spaces and have it be used in a fair way, so people aren't always just hogging the spaces, or there's no arguments or true discussions that come up and conflict with each other. And you know what I mean, like booking rooms in college campuses, you know what I mean, private rooms where you have to book in advance. If you go to the school, sign in, sign up, book, reserve. You know what I mean? It's reserved outdoor classrooms where teachers can utilize to keep their class entertained, teach their best way that they can in this environment. Students can also learn in this environment. They can be outdoors in nature, and just keep that playful, active, you know what I mean, teacher-learning relationship fresh. And I think it's a very important idea, again, business-oriented, that I think would be very interesting to spend my time. You know, again, there's like 7 months out of the year. You know what I mean? Actually, well, this one's a little different. You know what I mean? Because, like, not even necessarily saying building rows, but you know what I mean? You can design this outdoor space classroom in a unique way that you can be playful with it. So the teacher can hopefully really, truly look forward to going to these zones where teachers and students can get on with their studies and learning operations in the public areas. So I'd like to do this and kind of scaling in a little bit more. This was what I was getting off of with the macro. You know what I mean? Scavenge. I just wrote macro, scavenge. And I was gonna write scavenge the elementary school, high school areas, right? And using AI, right, somehow. Like fucking, because this is gonna take a lot of time for man. And just like maybe even teaching people and educating people how to identify about this. Like, what I'm trying to get at is like have AI get really good at identifying nature, space, green space areas around and near, and if possible on property of the school, and you know what I mean, have them build out SketchUp ideas for, you know what I mean, the classroom, the outdoor classroom. And you don't even want to call it a classroom because it's an outdoor space in nature that, you know what I mean, it reminds me of like a amphitheater, an outdoor amphitheater of sorts, where again the teacher-student relationship can be engaging in a new way. Maybe certain teachers would want to do this and go there, and hopefully every teacher would want to go there. Every teacher of every subject and genre would like to reserve their space in order to, you know, again, achieve strong student-teacher relationships. And thinking about all the teachers and all the classrooms and all the ages and all the schools, it's a lot. But starting with a couple and really building a strong base that is based on trust and authenticity for learning and desire for learning. You know, I think incorporating these unique classrooms and spaces outdoors can be very impactful for the school community. And you know what I mean? Having people want to use these spaces for independent teachers or tutoring and this and that, you know, after hours or at certain times, it's definitely possible. Certainly possible, like maybe if you're a student university or something, or you work at home, you work remotely at home, you want to use these spaces after hours. Possible, or even if it isn't being used that day, certainly it's possible to go to this outdoor classroom, outdoor learning environment, outdoor study space, and maybe, you know what I mean, creating these spaces. This is how connections get built. So that's just another idea, and I'm just gonna make this video, post it to my YouTube, and once it's downloaded, this is a long one, this is 40 minutes. Once it's downloaded, I load it into Gemini or even Claude, but Gemini actually is the only one right now that really works. And Gemini gets back to me and shares its thoughts, its considerations, its open reflections, its considerations that factor in certain things I touched on and certain things I didn't touch on, and it builds me out a personal map or agenda of sorts that builds topics that I've covered, categorizes these topics, and builds subcategories with these topics, and explains that, and shows how it associates positively, negatively, and even in a neutral way and it describes and explains the business acumen, the potential costs and opportunity costs, and foresees potentialities that I didn't necessarily touch on, but I hinted at, and it really just uncovers my foreshadowing, and it takes it that much further and in depth, and it goes deep for me, into the micro, into the macro, and everything else, and it helps me crystallize and clarify and simplify my ideas. And again, it categorizes in genres and subcategorizes and explain and association how everything is associated and whatnot. So because I tend to wander with my ideas, but with the help of AI, I can really hone my imaginative entrepreneurial spirit that's rooted in creativity and innovation. So coming from someone with no real business background, I have not started a business, but these are my first businesses. This are my first steps. And although I'm not a landscape architect, although I'm not a builder, although I'm not a teacher, although I'm not a this or that, it can help me see how these things are possible, and if they are, and how they can be, and why they would be or why they won't be. Challenges at hand, and helps me understand them better. So thank you, Gemini, and thanks to the audience, and thank you to the weekend, thank you to Mike Dean, thank you to Travis Scott, and glad it's a nice day today, and May 28th, 2026, and really that's all for now. I'm thinking last thoughts, wrap it up. I got this water features on my deck right here, next to the flowers that are coming along, and I'm thinking about how these ideas don't exist yet, and how when they do, it's like new jobs, people that focus on work, value creation. These are service, like helping me identify, right? Like helping me identify Gemini. Like, are these service? These seem to be service industries. I'm not sure exactly what kind of businesses I'm working with here. Help me identify that and achieve clearly what market I'm, seemingly, entering. You know what I mean? If there is any at all. It's better if there's no market and I just have the monopoly and invent a market. But horticulture, landscape architecture, designing these spaces for learning, 24/7, you know what I mean? And these 7 months of the year, it's important. It's worth the wait. The other 7 months of the year, it's worth the wait every time. So, thinking about, in ancient Greece, I guess, what the communal zone is called in ancient Greece, where they all gathered outdoors and philosophized, turned intellectual interests, and they debated, and big pillars, and if you can help me achieve that success, and what that outdoor space stood for, making that space beautiful, making these spaces beautiful, whether they're like made with natural wood, natural stone, like certain designs, like It should feel natural and it should be very thoughtful. These are the businesses